Accounts and Records, Chapter 8 of the CGST Act, Section 35, Subsection 1 of the CGST Act 2017. Every registered person shall keep and maintain at his principal place of business, as mentioned in the certificate of registration, a true and correct account of A. Production or manufacture of goods. B. Inward and outward supply of goods or services, or both. C. Stock of goods. D. Input tax credit availed. E. Output tax payable and paid. And F. Such other particulars as may be prescribed, provided that where more than one place of business is specified in the certificate of registration, the accounts relating to each place of business shall be kept at such places of business, provided further that the registered person may keep and maintain such accounts and other particulars in electronic form in such manner as may be prescribed. Now subsection 2 of section 35. Every owner or operator of warehouse or godown or any other place used for storage of goods, and every transporter, irrespective of whether he is a registered person or not, shall maintain records of the consignor, consignee, and other relevant details of the goods in such manner as may be prescribed. Subsection 3 of section 35. The Commissioner may notify a class of taxable persons to maintain additional accounts or documents for such purpose as may be specified therein. Now subsection 4. where the Commissioner considers that any class of taxable person is not in a position to keep and maintain accounts in accordance with the provisions of this section, he may, for reasons to be recorded in writing, permit such class of taxable persons to maintain accounts in such manner as may be prescribed. Now, subsection 5 of section 35 of the CGST Act. Every registered person whose turnover during a financial year exceeds the prescribed limit shall get his accounts audited by a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, and shall submit a copy of the audited annual accounts, the reconciliation statement under subsection 2 of section 44, and such other documents in such form and manner as may be prescribed. Now, subsection 6 of section 35. Subject to the provisions of clause H of subsection 5 of section 17, where the registered person fails to account for the goods or services or both in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1, the proper officer shall determine the amount of tax payable on the goods or services or both that are not accounted for, as if such goods or services or both had been supplied by such person, and the provisions of section 73 or section 74 as the case may be, shall mutatis mutandis apply for determination of such tax. Now, Section 36 of the CGST Act 2017. Period of retention of accounts. Period of retention of accounts. Section 36. Every registered person required to keep and maintain books of accounts or other records in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1 of section 35 shall retain them until the expiry of 72 months from the due date of furnishing of annual return for the year pertaining to such accounts and records, provided that a registered person who is a party to an appeal or revision or any other proceedings before any appellate authority or revisional authority or appellate tribunal or court, whether filed by him or by the commissioner, or is under investigation for an offence under Chapter 19, shall retain the books of accounts and other records pertaining to the subject matter of such appeal or revision or proceedings or investigation for a period of 1 year after final disposal of such appeal or revision or proceedings or investigation, or for the period specified above, whichever is later. Now, provisions mentioned in CGST Rules 2017 regarding accounts and records. These provisions are stated in Chapter 7 of the CGST Rules. Rule 56. Maintenance of accounts by registered persons. Sub-Rule 1. Every registered person shall keep and maintain, in addition to the particulars mentioned in subsection 1 of section 35, A true and correct account of the goods or services imported or exported, or of supplies attracting payment of tax on reverse charge, along with the relevant documents including invoices, bills of supply, delivery challans, credit notes, debit notes, receipt vouchers, payment vouchers, and refund vouchers. Now, sub-rule 2 of Rule 56. Every registered person other than a person paying tax under Section 10 shall maintain the accounts of stock in respect of goods received and supplied by him, and such accounts shall contain particulars of the opening balance, receipt, supply, goods lost, stolen, destroyed, written off, or disposed of by way of gift or free sample, and the balance of stock, including raw materials, finished goods, scrap, and wastage thereof. Now, sub-rule 3 of Rule 56. Every registered person shall keep and maintain a separate account of advances received, paid, and adjustments made thereto. Now, sub-rule 4 of Rule 56. Every registered person other than a person paying tax under Section 10 shall keep and maintain an account containing the details of tax payable, including tax payable in accordance with the provisions of subsection 3 and subsection 4 of section 9, tax collected and paid, input tax, input tax credit claimed, together with a register of tax invoice, credit notes, debit notes, delivery challan issued or received during any tax period. Now, sub-rule 5 of Rule 56. every registered person shall keep the particulars of A. Names and complete addresses of suppliers from whom he has received the goods or services chargeable to tax under the Act. B. Names and complete addresses of the persons to whom he has supplied goods or services where required under the provisions of this chapter. C. The complete address of the premises where goods are stored by him, including goods stored during transit, along with the particulars of the stock stored therein, along with the particulars of the stock stored therein. Now sub-rule 6 of Rule 56. If any taxable goods are found to be stored at any place or places other than those declared under sub-rule 5 without the cover of any valid documents, the proper officer shall determine the amount of tax payable on such goods as if such goods have been supplied by the registered person. Now sub-rule 7 of Rule 56 of the CGST Rules 2017. Every registered person shall keep the books of account at the principal place of business, and books of account relating to additional place of businesses mentioned in his certificate of registration, and such books of account shall include any electronic form of data stored on any electronic device. Now sub-rule 8 of Rule 56. Any entry in registers, accounts and documents shall not be erased, effaced or overwritten, and all incorrect entries otherwise than those of clerical nature shall be scored out under attestation, and thereafter the correct entry shall be recorded, and where the registers and other documents are maintained electronically, a log of every entry edited or deleted shall be maintained. Now sub-rule 9 of Rule 56. Each volume of books of account maintained manually by the registered person shall be serially numbered. Now sub-rule 10 of Rule 56. Unless proved otherwise, if any documents, registers, or any books of account belonging to a registered person are found at any premises other than those mentioned in the certificate of registration, they shall be presumed to be maintained by the said registered person. Sub-rule 11. Every agent referred to in clause 5 of section 2 shall maintain accounts depicting the a. particulars of authorization received by him from each principal to receive or supply goods or services on behalf of such principal separately. B. Particulars including description, value and quantity, wherever applicable, of goods or services received on behalf of every principal. C. Particulars including description, value and quantity, wherever applicable, of goods or services supplied on behalf of every principal. D. Details of accounts furnished to every principal, and E. Tax paid on receipts or on supply of goods or services effected on behalf of every principal, and E. Tax paid on receipts or on supply of goods or services effected on behalf of every principal. Now sub-rule 12. Every registered person manufacturing goods shall maintain monthly production accounts showing quantitative details of raw materials or services used in the manufacture and quantitative details of the goods so manufactured, including the waste and byproducts thereof. Now sub-rule 13 of Rule 56. Every registered person supplying services shall maintain the accounts showing quantitative details of goods used in the provision of services, details of input services utilized, and the services supplied. Now sub-rule 14 of Rule 56. Every registered person executing works contract shall keep separate accounts for works contract showing a. the names and addresses of the persons on whose behalf the works contract is executed. B. description, value, and quantity, wherever applicable, of goods or services received for the execution of works contract. C. description, value, and quantity, wherever applicable, of goods or services utilized in the execution of works contract. D. the details of payment received in respect of each works contract, and E. the names and addresses of suppliers from whom he received goods or services. Now, sub-rule 15 of Rule 56. The records under the provisions of this chapter may be maintained in electronic form, and the records so maintained shall be authenticated by means of a digital signature. Sub-rule 16. Accounts maintained by the registered person, together with all the invoices, bills of supply, credit and debit notes, and delivery challans relating to stocks, deliveries, inward supply and outward supply, shall be preserved for the period as provided in section 36, and shall, where such accounts and documents are maintained manually, be kept at every related place of business mentioned in the certificate of registration, and shall be accessible at every related place of business where such accounts and documents are maintained digitally. Now sub-rule 17 of Rule 56. Any person having custody over the goods in the capacity of a carrier or a clearing and forwarding agent for delivery or dispatch thereof to a recipient on behalf of any registered person shall maintain true and correct records in respect of such goods handled by him on behalf of such registered person and shall produce the details thereof as and when required by the proper officer. Sub-Rule 18. Every registered person shall, on demand, produce the books of accounts which he is required to maintain under any law for the time being in force. Repeat. Every registered person shall, on demand, produce the books of accounts which he is required to maintain under any law for the time being in force. So this audio recording regarding accounts and records under CGST was made by CA B.K. Singh for and on behalf of FILERS Group.